Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? Hello everyone. As you know, we're gonna be doing an activity today, but let me present this little girl over here. This is my daughter Genesis. Say hello.
Hi everybody.
So, we're gonna be doing an activity, a planting activity, and this doesn't mean that you're gonna run
To the store or a hardware store where you normally go buy supplies for your planting materials.
Today we're gonna be using what, Genesis?
Recyclables.
And recyclable are things that you're gonna throw away that are probably carton, plastic, or paper. So for example, we're gonna be using either a half bottle that we cut previously and we put tape around it so children won't
Cut themselves on the plastic.
So you can use any
Tape that you would like or have any tape that it's laying around. We use duct tape because we had two options, duct tape or clear tape. But we chose duct tape and we did not go run to the store and buy this, alright?
It's something that we already have in our house, okay? So you can also have other options, for example, like a cup, disposable cup. I have this that I use a couple of days. This is a cured container for coffee. I opened it up, took out the coffee grounds, took out the little filter that goes inside and washed it. So you can use this. This will be a good seed starter. Like to start a little seed is perfect. Also you can use what?
An empty washed egg carton or plastic carton if you have. And you can also use milk cartons and orange juice cartons, right?
Exactly. Also you will need,
Some water. A spray bottle would be nice, right?
yes, because that way you have your children working their fine motor skills, which means their muscles in their hands and fingers, and you will be able to see or what?
How they grow and
How they pour their water into their seed.
we almost forgot to show you this. This is what plants need to grow. So what they need to grow is sunlight, rainwater or
Regular water that you get in the sink, from the sink.
air, and soil.
So, remember, too much of something is not usually good for plants. If you're gonna water your plant, you have to make sure that you don't put a lot of water. Because if you do, what will happen?
It would die and it wouldn't grow no more. And you wouldn't want that, right?
Yeah, your seed, especially if you start a seed, if you put too much water, the seed, let me find a big one. The seed might rotten and it might not grow, okay?
Especially when they're small.
Especially when the plant is small, because as you know, when they're small, their bodies can handle too much of something. So, you need the water. If it's raining like today, because today was raining, you can take out the plant outside, get a little bit of water, and then put it back in. If you have the opportunity to do that. But if you don't, that's fine. You can always water it at
With the spray bottle.
or
Now, if you don't have a spray bottle and the only material you have is a clear water bottle or a water bottle.
or an empty bottle. It doesn't matter. As
That's
long as
right.
your children can hold it, it's okay.
Now, you can put holes on top of the water bottle cap so it's easier for them to like pour it into the plant or in whatever you're using, like paper towel, some cotton balls or squares, and
The
soil, as well as a t-shirt cloth or an empty rag that you're not
The
using.
she's saying about the rag is that if you don't have paper towels to spare or the pieces of cotton or soil, you can use an old t-shirt that you're gonna throw away anyways, cut it into little pieces, put it in your cup, and pour water into it. As long as it retains water, it should be okay. Okay?
Now, retaining means holding water.
Perfect. That's right. So, and the first thing that we're gonna do for our planting is choose your container. So Genesis just choose a container and I'm gonna choose a container.
I would go for the cup But since you can't see through this cup, I would be going with something clear.
Okay, since I don't have another bottle, I only have like this big one that I cut already.
You can use this
That's
if
okay, you
want.
can still use that. Thank you for sharing. I like how you're sharing with me. Remember, I mean, if you have all the little brothers and sisters that want to plant, you can share with them whatever materials you have. I'm gonna be using the cured cup as my seed stand. Okay, now besides that, you have to choose your seed. Previously we showed you a little clip of the kinds of seeds that we have at home today. These are things that came out from my my pantry, I'm sorry. One day I was eating oranges and I pull out the seeds and I saved them. So today, Genesis, which seed are you planting today?
Well, I would go with the soil, but you would need to poke some holes at the bottom of the container or cup that you're using.
Also, then you're telling the parents, okay, if you pretend to use soil, open holes on the bottom before you plant, because that way, with soil, we don't know how much water it holds or it retains, and we want them to drain because water is hard to take out from soil, right? So you have to open the little holes. Previously, you want to use the soil?
No, I'm not going to use the soil. I was just saying, doing a shout out about that.
Okay, perfect. So what material are you going to use to plant?
I'll use some paper towel.
Okay, so when you get the paper towels, make them into little balls, place them in your container, and then what do you have to do, Genesis?
You would take your poked in water bottle or your spray bottle and wet the paper towel or whatever you're using just a little bit, just to get it moist but not soaking wet. Moist means to get it wet, but it's not that wet.
So basically you can see the physical water, like if I pour it like this. Let me show you. When you have your plant, let me put this in here so you can see or you can tell. You put your cotton ball or whatever you're gonna use. It's all the way in the bottom. So we don't want this. See, I see a little water and I can barely see my cotton. What we want is to have it wet enough for our seed to grow. And we're just gonna spray, 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 and then we touch it. If it feels wet, that's perfect. See, I don't have more water dripping out of my hands or anything like that. That's what we want. So now what seed are you gonna use?
Well, I'll use a kidney seed this time.
A kidney bean?
Yes, that's what I mean, a kidney bean. Sorry for my misspoken. That happens to me a lot.
Not just you, me too.
Kidney bean. Sorry for my misspoken. That happens to me a lot.
Not just you, me too. And I'll be using this little tiny container, but I'll be using soil. So let's change it up a little bit.
Teacher Erika, I have a question for
Sure.
you. Can you put more than one bean in a big container with some cotton balls or cloth?
You know what? That's a very good question. Yes, you can, but as long as you don't overcrowd it, that means that you don't get a handful of beans and drop it there, because then they won't have enough root to grow. They won't have enough root to grow their roots. So you can probably, for this container, you can plant, I would say 5 or 6 seeds and see how many they will grow, because sometimes not all of the seeds grow. Sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they're broken in a way that it won't grow at all.
Well, I have the curiosity what would happen, so I would put, I'm going to put 2 more beans inside the container.
And you know what? Since we have different kinds of seeds, we have black beans, red beans, white beans. I suggest to choose 2 different kinds. That way you can see if they grow the same or if they look the same as they grow.
Well, I'm going to do my original bean that I have, the kidney bean.
Okay.
And I am going to be choosing this brown
called a pinto bean.
Pinto.
Okay, so place your pinto bean. One more?
Yeah, why not? And I'll choose this little one.
And a white bean. Okay, perfect. So put it in there, and remember, spray your seed with the water also, not just the paper. You want the seed to get a little bit of water so it will promote growth. Okay? For me, like I said, I'm using the Keurig cup. I'm gonna open a little hole. I just poke it with my finger. And I'm gonna choose Erika Banzo B this time. See? I'm gonna put it in there, and then I'm gonna put soil on top of it. Then I'm gonna grab my water bottle and spray it.
I have a question.
Oh, yes?
What if you don't have dirt? I mean, if you have dirt, what would you use to cover the surface?
Oh, let's say for this activity today, we're doing it in our garden due to not getting our house messy. So, and I don't really want to spend too much time cleaning. So for parents that don't want to spend too much time cleaning and you're planning to use soil, I could suggest to do it outside if you are able to do it outside. But if you're not able to do it outside, let me show you something that I usually use. I have used before with my kids. Dun, dun, dun. Hold it please and show it. It's a
plastic container that we would use if we didn't have normal pots too.
So this plastic container, I use it for so many things. I use it for when I'm trying to transplant a plant. That means when I have a plant that is too big and I want to move it to a bigger pot so it will grow bigger, I would use this. I will put it on the table. I will take out my plant. Oh, sorry. And I will have all the dirt falling here, and that contains the dirt and it makes my cleaning easier.
And now, if you have a neighbor and you don't have all this, and all you want to use is dirt, you can ask your neighbor if you can borrow some of their dirt.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes if you ask someone to help, they will help, and which is a good. Instead of taking with us, and we say, oh, you know what, I'm trying to plant something, and I have a little bit of dirt from your garden, if it's a rye or not. Or if you have a garden, you just run outside to the garden, get the dirt, put it in your beautiful container, and choose your seeds. Okay? Now, like I said, you don't have to buy it. The only thing is when your seed grows up and you want it and you want to keep it for a longer time, it's better if you had seeds, because the seed has some minerals that your plants need to grow.
I would like to say something. Like, if you have like dirt like this inside a container or recyclable that you have, a reusable, you can put a dirt and the same seed that you're going to be using. The seed that you put in here, you'll cover it up and do the that we were showing you, the soil. And then you'll put it in a clear container with either cotton balls or cotton squares or the cloth.
Oh, I know what you want to do. Ha, I get you. She wants to make a comparison. A comparison seed is you plant the same seed here and here, and you can see how it grows in the clear container as it grows inside your soil, because since it's covered with soil, you can see how it will grow. But in a clay container, you can see when the seed germinates, and you can see the roots coming out and the stem coming out and the leaves coming out. So that's a very good idea.
Teacher Erika, what does germinate mean?
Germinate is basically what it is when your seed is growing into a plant. It means taking out, growing. So when your seed germinates, it means that it starts taking out roots, that it starts taking out the stem and their leaves. For example, you can think of yourself as a seed. If you make yourself into a little bowl and you go all the way out, you take out your feet first. That's the first thing that it grows on the seed, and that's are called roots. Then you grow, and your body torso could be your stem, and the stem is the next thing that grows. And then you can take your hands as leaves, and they spread their leaves like this, I'm sorry if I'm covering you.
It's okay.
And those are the leaves from your plant, and that's what you're gonna see in here. Later on, I will send the plant life cycle so the children can compare with their plants. Okay, that way it will explain it a little bit more. You will see what is the plant supposed to do and what are you supposed to do.
Now, if you have a printer, like we have a printer at home, not everybody has a printer, but you can print out the on paper for the life cycles that teacher Erika would be showing you
Later on.
And so your children can see, like you can place it right next to the plant, and so your children can see what should be happening in
to their seed, or in the clear container, or in the soil. I mean, if you can have the comparison side by side, will be great. If you have both of them plus the sheets, but if you can print them, that's okay. You can show them the picture one day at a time as you see it grow. Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Now, these are some plants that we have at home. I don't think you can see everything, so I'm gonna move these over here.
Okay. So this is my onion plant. Okay. See, what happened with this onion plant is that one day one of my onions was growing a tail, and I decided to plant it. So I actually put the physical onion inside, and I cover it with dirt, and now it's growing. And this over here on the top is going to be a flower, so it's a bud. This one over here is a savila plant.
So what you meant by the bud, you mean by that's the beginning of the flower that's going to be growing out. It's just technically like a circle that is not ready to bloom or blossom?
Exactly. This is before it blossoms. So it will grow as long as I keep taking care of it. It will grow into a beautiful flower.
Now,
After a while, you know, I have done this before, and after a while you take out the whole plant and you can see onions inside. You will have onions again. Okay, it's not a waste. You can always replant an onion. The onion will make roots, and then it will become into an onion again.
eventually,
Eventually.
you're trying to say eventually when you plant whatever you're planting, and like the onion for example, you would be saying that eventually it'll be growing, and then that onion will keep on growing onions and onions until it dies, I guess.
Until you stop growing it, actually.
Yes.
I mean, for this one, the previous onion that I have planted, I planted one onion, okay? I let it be there in the dirt for a long time. It grew flowers. And then one day, I didn't have an onion. I decided to go and dig it up. When I dig out my one onion, I came out with 3 small onions. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
From one I made 3, and I was surprised, and it tasted pretty good. So it's up to you how long you want to leave it on the dirt and how long do you want to keep it as a plant. I decided to take it out and eat it. Yeah, you can do that too.
It's so funny, when you plant just one onion, it grows more than one onion.
Yeah, I will say sometimes. I don't know what happened there, but it grew up to 3 onions. So that was great for me because it saved me a trip to the market. Okay, this is a aloe vera or savila, and these are my succulents. The beautiful thing about succulents is if you cut a piece of the succulent, even though it's at the top, and let's say you cut this top over here and you put it inside water for a little while, it will grow roots again, and you can plant it in soil and you will have a beautiful plant. Eventually it will keep growing and it will keep giving you plants.
Well, can't you just do the same thing? Like you get that and you have like this much water, can't you put that in there?
Yes.
It wouldn't necessarily die, right?
No, it wouldn't necessarily die. We're just promoting the growth of roots, because these plants, this type of plant actually will grow roots even though you cut it out of the plant. So if you put it inside the water, it will grow roots, and as soon as you see roots out, you take it out of the water, you plant it into soil, and you will have a beautiful plant later on. This is what happened with this plant. I had a small piece like this, I planted it, and it grew to this big.
Well,
And I keep taking out baby plants sometimes, and I replant them somewhere else, which is okay. But keep trying, keep planting, have fun gardening.
well,
Oh, look, you found one with a root. I don't know if you were able to see it, but there's the root. Maybe if we put the yellow
I'll get
or something on
closer.
the back. Oh, get closer.
well, sometimes, as you see, this is the root of a leaf from the succulent.
So it made a root because it has been laying on top of the soil, and it has moisture, that means water, and it's promoted root growth.
Well,
Oh, you took it out. Oh no, it's right here.
so right there.
You can barely see it. It's tiny like a hair. But you can do that, and you can actually grow a plant from here. You just keep watering it, leave it on the soil, and it will grow to be a big plant like this eventually.
Isn't the leaves of this beautiful succulent that you grew, isn't it technically the seeds of a succulent? If you replant it, or this one of the leaves of the succulents fall off, this is technically its personal seed, right?
Yeah, basically you can see it as a seed because a plant will grow out of it. So you can do that also at home. I mean, like I say, you don't have to buy anything. If you have a neighbor that has a little succulent laying around, you can ask them, hey, can I have a little leaf? Let me see if it grows. Or can I have a little piece of it so my child can see how a plant grows? It will be great. Okay. You're moving it back? Oh, just leave it there. It's fine. So they get a little bit heavy. They're a little bit heavy today because it was raining really a few moments ago, and it watered my plants, so I don't have to water them again because that will be too much water. Correct?
This is a pretty plant. Can you explain which plant this is and to the children?
You know, I know this is part of a succulent family, but I really don't know their name. This was given to us by Grandma. Your great grandma? Great grandma gave us this plant, so I don't know their name. And unfortunately, she doesn't remember, but that's okay because it gives you beautiful flowers. And like I say, I have had these plants for about 5 years already, and they keep growing, and they can give me flowers as long as I water them and keep them healthy.
Now, you have a couple of this, like at least 2 more of the same thing, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you wanted to, this would take a little bit longer, but you can search on succulents and see if you can find this.
That's true. I could probably find their name, but I don't have my computer or my phone with me today, so we'll leave it for later.
Well, if
or
you
if you want to know in the house, in your house, children, you can always ask your parents to research it and find out their name. I will be happy to know because I really don't know their names. I have seen them in the hardware stores or where they sell plants, but I had never stopped to read their names, so that's my bad. But that's okay. So remember, if you take care of your plants, you will have beautiful plants.
Like
if you
these.
want them to grow more, if I wanted these plants to grow more, I will switch them to a bigger pot with more dirt, more place to stretch
So,
their roots
like-
and their bodies like anybody else.
So I'm sorry that I had to go all the way around. So like this container, you can move the plants that teacher Erika or my mom said and put it in a bigger container like this.
That is right. So I hope you like this activity, and see you next time.
Bye!
Bye bye.